coins, you gotta grow your coins.
Grow your coins, grow your coins.
Grow your coins, grow your coins, you gotta grow your coins.
Grow your coins, grow your coins.
Grow your coins, grow your coins, you gotta grow your coins.
Grow your coins, grow your coins.
Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. I am the Crypto Crow, and today I'm going to be going over something I've been working on quite a bit that I think will help a lot of you, and I wanted to go over the details of it, and that is my Cardano Ecosystem metrics sheet. Now, I explained previously that I was going on a bit of a break. I'm still on that break, technically. It's going to be about a week until I'm like back full force daily content, knocking it out of the park. And there's a lot of stuff that I'm going to be changing. I honestly want to change my whole studio, my whole setup. But that might take a little bit longer than that, but I do plan on putting out content before then. But this video is specifically a tool that I think is going to help you moving forward with my future content, because I do plan on doing pretty significant deep dives into the projects on the Cardano ecosystem. But I'm doing it a little differently than before. You know, back in the day, I used to do a lot of deep dives, and I had created my own metric system for basically what I thought might be potentially good investments. Not necessarily as though it were financial advice, but coming from the perspective of what do I look at? What am I buying into? Why? What are the reasons why? What am I looking into? Now, because I've learned all these cycles later, so many things relevant to the cryptocurrency market, new cryptocurrency projects, and so forth. I've learned that what was once important or seemed important may not be, and what wasn't necessarily as important as I thought is far more important. Okay, now let's just go ahead and take a look at the sheet. Now, I will also say this whole Excel spreadsheet is available right now, okay, on Soblox.com in the Crow Tokens group. Now, I will show you these pages and I will show you what's up. You have to hold Crow tokens. If you're a Crow token holder, you will be able to log in, create an account on Soblox, and get access to this Crow token group, which will give access to this Excel sheet. I'm doing this way because I just want it to be another thing that Crow token holders are able to get access to. And ultimately, Murder of Crow holders are going to get access as well, okay? But right now, it's just Crow token holders. And, you know, it's important to me to continue adding use cases as I can for those who have been supporting me with my NFT collection, my useless shitcoin collection, all of that. Just basically as a way to continue giving back. And there's a lot of stuff in the works. Of course, every time I start recording a video, my liberal friend George blows up my Telegram. Those are all the dings that you're seeing. I've been making some headway with them. I'll let you guys know on that. But anyway, so let's go ahead and take a look. All right, George, come on now. All right, so let's take a look. All right, this is the key, okay? And I swear it never fails anytime. I mean, he'll be silent for 2 days, and then I start recording a video, and it's just one after the other. So hopefully he calms down. I don't want to have to close Telegram while I'm recording this. One of these days, and I have talked to him, one of these days he is going to be coming live on my channel, and we're going to have a not necessarily like a debate, a conversation, whatever. And I did let him know recently that, you know what, in all these years of me and him going back and forth with completely different viewpoints, I love him as a friend. I value him as an individual. I value his perspectives. And, you know, I really do need to mute him, though, because he's going to drive me absolutely nuts. Let me do that real quick. Disable sound. There we go. All right. So now we're going to take a look here. This is the Cardano ecosystem metrics. Now, you're going to see here, I have market capitalization, trading volume, circulating supply, total supply, social metrics, team, use case, existence and growth, audits, DEX holders, hacks and scandals, and whether or not it's a layer one. Now, the reason I have this laid out this way is because this is not necessarily a chart about, is this a good investment or not? I think it's fair to say that most projects in the crypto space during a bull market can be potentially good investments as long as you know when to get out. And there's a big question, like a lot of people think, well, I'm going to invest in this, I'm going to hold long term. The way I look at it is in terms of like capital gains tax, as long as you hold something for over a year, it reduces your capital gains exposure substantially and ultimately puts you in the lowest capital gains tax bracket based off of your income tax bracket. Okay. That's something you're going to have to talk to your financial consultant, your accountant, your CPA, and whatever to work that out. But ultimately, the whole crow your coins mantra, look it up on the Urban Dictionary, because I went to add it and somebody else added it for me. Unless I did add it under a different account, I can't remember. But crow your coins is ultimately a mantra about holding your investments long enough to take advantage of of the lowest capital gains. It's really what it's about for those that don't know. And it's just something I came up with, I think, back in 2017 or whatever. Now, market capitalization, anything under 1 million market cap gets 1 point. Under 10, 2 points. Under 100 million market cap, 3 points. Under 1 billion, 4 points. Over $1 billion, and this is all based in dollars, not Cardano. Over 1 billion, you get 5 points. Why? Why is that the case? Well, because between market capitalization and trade volume, it gives you the easiest ability to get in and out at profit. That's it. Okay. And because a lot of people that say, well, I want to invest in these small cap tokens, right? That's okay. This is not about investment. This is about safety of investment. In my opinion, this is all opinion. This is not financial advice on any stretch. This could be all wrong. I'm always right sometimes. Okay. Now you'll see that volume has a 2x. Or an X2, meaning that whatever the point value here is, it gets doubled. All right. So, under 1 million, you get 2 points. Under 10 million, you get 4 points, so forth and so on. Over $1 billion in trade volume, you get 10 points added to your score. Why? Because it doesn't matter if a project goes from 3 cents to $3 if it's got $50,000 in trade volume. You're not going to get in or out of it. Okay, so that's the whole point of this. And with market capitalization, that is a big deal because depending on circulating supply and total supply, the price, that you get into a token and then the price that you try to get out of, if you don't have good volume on the exchange, you're basically going to be sitting there forever as limit orders basically just don't get met, right? And so you need high volume to be able to get in and out easily. Like as an example, Cardano itself, you could trade $1 million worth of Cardano in 2 seconds and not suffer any slippage, really. Maybe a little, but not much at all. That's why volume is key. So I gave volume a 2x multiplier over its point value. Circulating supply. Now what this is that if there's under 30% of the total supply in circulation on exchanges or in public hands, it's only got 1 point. So the more of the total supply that is made available to the public, it's not being held by venture capital groups or team members. If you've got over 70%, you get 5 points. Over 70% of your total circulating supply should be readily available to the public on trading platforms, staked, whatever. Okay. Now your total supply over 100 billion, you only get 1 point. All right. Because anything over 100 billion to me starts reaching into meme coin territory, primarily if it is a layer 2, 3, 5, like whatever. If it's an app or a DApp or something and it has over 100 billion tokens, that's meme coin territory to me. And it doesn't mean that it can't potentially be a fun, good investment, short term, medium term, whatever, depending on where you are in the market cycle. But ultimately, that's what this is. And So that's what I have it broken down. Now, social metrics, you'll notice there's an X2 here. If there's no social metrics, if there's just not much data, if there's, it doesn't look like the community's buzzing about it, you're only going to get 2 points, up to 10 points. Why? Because when you're talking about cryptocurrencies, oftentimes the speculative value of a cryptocurrency can be dependent upon the size and aggression of its community and the social metrics associated with it. And this is key for anybody looking to, this is key. I mean, social metrics are absolutely key. You can have the best project in the world, but if nobody's talking about it, then that word is not spreading. The community is not growing. The number of people accumulating it, investing into it, or even trading it is not going anywhere, which likely means that the volume is also low. So, a high social metric score found, on like Lunar Crush, that sort of thing. You can get that kind of data on social metrics. If it's got high social metrics, it's got 10 points, because the higher the social metrics, that's a good thing. Now, the opposite of this is, what if those social metrics are negative? What if it's a bunch of people on the interwebs complaining about something or talking about something? Well, then that would likely fall down into the scandal category, which would take those points away. Okay, so you're seeing how my system's working. The team, no team mentioned at all, you get 1 point. The team is mentioned, like we've got a couple of guys, it's not a big deal, it's a couple of buddies working out of their basement or something trying to make magic happen on the blockchain. Cool, you get 2 points. A fully doxed team, meaning if the team is, here's everybody that works on this project, these are all their names, here are all their LinkedIn profiles, you can verify who the team is. Cool, you got 3 points for doing that. Good job. An experienced team, basically I see a lot of teams sometimes, they might be fully doxed, but you got a guy who just came out of pet grooming and then decided to get into blockchain, right? Okay, cool. Good luck to you. Glad you're open and you're honest about who you are and all of that, but we'll see how that transpires, right? If you have an experienced team where the team that's put together for the project is relevant to the project's core, you get 4 points. And then if you have a power team gets 5 points. A power team is, like Cardano. And I use Cardano as a reference a lot, but you have Cardano, Charles Hoskinson, one of the co-founders of Ethereum, brilliant guy, all of that fun stuff. He's part of a power team. Back in the day, Celsius Network, I thought had a power team. Why? Because Alex Mashinsky at the time was the patent holder for voice over IP. This still would have gotten 5 points, because you've got somebody like that who assumably, it's like he didn't need to do this. He didn't need to get into this business. He was trying to disrupt the banking system. Well, unfortunately, that power team went nigh. It went down because he made a whole bunch of mistakes. He should have stuck with voice over IP or telecommunications, because he basically flopped in the finance sector and made a lot of bad moves, and now he's paying for it, right? And when you're talking about hundreds of millions of dollars, if not billions of dollars at stake, you can't be flagrant with people's money. That's all that boils down to. And it didn't look like he was even trying to be careful. So those are the two different sides of the coin, where just because you have a power team, again, in the crypto space, doesn't necessarily mean it's going to do exceedingly well. It just means it's probably going to do well, at least initially, which it is what it is. Use case. Is the use case necessary or not? Is it low demand, medium demand, high demand, or global demand? Basically, the more use case potential for an application on a blockchain, obviously, the better. Existence and growth. It has a 2x multiplier in the points system. It's brand new. You got 2 points. 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years plus, you get 10 points. Why is this the case? Because in the cryptocurrency market, if it can stand the test of time, and especially if it can last beyond one full cycle or more, chances are it's not going anywhere. Any project can launch at the beginning or the height of a bull market and try and capitalize. Okay. And there are going to be a lot. We're going to see announcements left and right post halving about the number of projects out in the crypto sphere that are launching to ready to take over the world and disrupt its industry and take over this market, take over that market. We're going to see it time and time again. We're probably going to see it every day, if not 10 times a day. That doesn't mean anything. That's a promise. That's an idea. That's a venture. It's a startup. And we get excited about that. And because of this, because of short-term integrations, we're just getting things kicked off. That can drive up social metrics, which in turn can drive up volume, and depending on its circulating supply, can also dictate its market cap. You see how all this ties in together? And the existence of a cryptocurrency project to me is very, very important, because the longer it's been around, and the longer it's been in development, and it's been active, and it's been growing, basically the more safe of an investment it appears to be to me. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean, you have to take the existence of a project as well as its growth and its community and all of these other elements, right? You can have something that's been around 10 years, but if there's no social metrics, there's not much circulating supply, and there's very little volume because it's a dying or dead project, well, you get the points that are getting lower and lower, okay? Now, audits. This is a big deal for, layer twos, apps, dApps, that sort of thing. If you've got no audit, you get 1 point for no reason, really. I should just put this as a negative, but I didn't. Unknown audit. So like, hey, we got an audit, but it's an unknown company. We got a hack-in or CertiK audit. Okay, we got one or the other. You get 3 points for that, because these are not cheap, and these audits are generally pretty solid. Okay, they're very reputable hacking companies, right? And so if you've got one of these audits, that's pretty good. Now, there's one element to this though, where oftentimes when somebody hires an audit company, they may say audited by CertiK, right? But what they don't say is only one element of their smart contract was audited. Okay, which can leave room for other faults or failures within their smart contracts, because this company was only hired to specifically look at X, when X, Y, Z, A, B, C were also factors, but those weren't looked at. So some people can try and say, well, we paid CertiK, we did an audit, we were cleared, so they can stick that sticker on their website, but it doesn't necessarily mean that every facet of their smart contract or project was actually audited. So you have to be wary of that. If you got more than one audit from 2 different companies, fantastic. 3+ audits, you get a 5-point score. DEX holders, and this is specific to basically anything that's just launching primarily on DEXs. If you've got under 1,000 holders to your NFT or your coin or whatever, you get 1 point. All the way up to 20,000 plus holders, you get 5 points. Hacks and scandals. If you had a rug or a scam, you got -3 points, which would basically make this -2. This would be, -5. I mean, basically the more scandals you have, rug and scam is the worst, right? So you're coming off of your overall score substantially with a rug or an open scam. If you got hacked, well, typically that could go either way. That's either an oversight by the team's development company or the development team, and somebody found a loophole or a flaw. That's not good that even existed, but they could recover from that, and that happens quite frequently, unfortunately, in the crypto space. A team issue is typically, where you basically break even on a team issue, okay? Anything prior to this, a rug or a hack, those take away from your overall point score. But a team issue is like, oh, well, this team decided they didn't like each other, and members of the team moved on. You don't want to see that kind of stuff. Yes, they had a team issue, but it was resolved. Okay, fine, no issues at all. You got a total of 2 points. Because you really, you shouldn't have any issues. You shouldn't have really team problems. You shouldn't have hacks or rugs or anything like that. And then finally in this is layer 1. Is it a layer 1 blockchain or is it something else? If it's a layer 1, you automatically get 5 points. If it's not, you get 1 point. And that's basically it. You get a max score of up to 77 on the total thing. Now, down here, not safe under 35 points. Potential 35 to 50 points. Likely safe 51 plus points. And that is the metric. That is what we're talking about here, because ultimately, this isn't necessarily about, it's not about, am I going to make $1 million if I invest my money? This is how safe is my money likely being wrapped up in this particular project through a bull market and until I liquidate or I sell or I exit the position, whether it's this cycle or the next. And that is where I'm at with it. Now, this is a living document. And you know what? I'll show you that, there are a number of projects that we have in here in the works. Okay. And there's just a lot of stuff that's going to continue being added. And, it's a living document. Okay. And this is a big deal. Now, I will also say that you can only get it on the Crow Token group on Soblocks.com. So it's in open beta. Soblocks is in open beta now. And this group on Soblocks is token gated, with a policy ID and so forth. And you have to have Crow tokens on your Cardano wallet, whether it's typically NAMI. NAMI is pretty much what is used for Soblocks right now, but I think you can use Lace Wallet. But figure if you're using NAMI, or I think even maybe Eternal, but you have to have a Cardano wallet to even register on Soblocks, okay? Because a lot of the future functionality that's coming, you have to have a Cardano wallet. This is all being built on Cardano. And so it's the Crow Token group. There is a link in the description below. If you don't have any Crow tokens, you can go to crowtokens.com and you can pick them up on ViFi.io. You can pick them up on, I think, MinSwap. You can get Crow tokens now. I mean, people are creating their own liquidity pools and things with the Crow tokens. And so that's it. You can check it all out. And that's ultimately... that's what this is all about. It's just basically adding utility to everything while giving everyone the ability to share some insight. Let me know in the comments below if you don't mind. Should some of these be more weighted than others? Are there things that I should consider to add into the point systems? Are there things that you don't think are very relevant? I'm probably not getting rid of any of these because I think they're all very relevant. I've sat down and brainstormed a lot to try and come up with these metrics to make them fair, sustainable. But what I'm also finding is, so far, not that many projects are falling in the 51 plus category yet. I think there might be 2 in the entire Cardano ecosystem so far. The majority of them are showing potential, and that's okay, because that's what it is, because a lot of them are new. And so, a lot of these projects have been come around over the past year, right? Maybe year and a half. So you can't expect perfection right out of the gate. You can't expect high volume, social metrics, a lot of these key elements. So they have potential. They're worth keeping an eye on. And I am. And the thing of it is that when I combine these metrics with my deep dive, reading their white paper, getting a better understanding as to the project and what it means and what its use case is, some of these projects may serve a significant purpose or use case that may not really be truly reflected by having high social metrics or high supply or even the total circulating supply against its total supply. All of these things could change as I dive deeper into these projects, at which point some of these numbers may change. I do have Jason Starr, who I wish he lived next to me, because I'd probably hire him on as a full-time assistant. He's been helping me. I basically laid out all of this data and I said, okay, I need you to help me. And he's been going through all of the different projects and finding where each project falls in the point system. And he's been filling in these things for me so that I can use them in conjunction with my own deep dive of, reading the white papers and going going through. So moving forward, this is going to be a living document. You're probably not going to see this anymore, but you're going to see how I basically break down the points for each individual project as it relates to my overall summary and my review of these Cardano ecosystem projects moving forward. And, moving forward, once I have everything in line, I'm going to be doing daily TA. Yes, I am. I'm finally going to break it. I've got an indicator that's in the works right now that is exactly what I want. And they're coding it and they're working on it and doing a lot of complex math because we're going back and forth. And I'm like, this is what I want. And this is how I want it to work. And this is what I need to see. I'm like, oh man, this is really difficult using Pine code. And I'm like, well, that we're working this out. But I think that once this is ready, I think this is going to be a really big deal because nobody's done anything like this. And it's something that I want to use. And that's the thing with me. You guys know how I roll. If I'm not using it myself on a daily basis, I'm not promoting it. I'm not talking about it, whether it's my bot or mining or whatever. If I am not into it, I don't make it a part of my channel. I just don't. And it doesn't matter if it's my own. I don't care how much I've invested into something, how much I can make in something. I got to feel it. I got to use it. It's got to be a part of my life, or I'm just not going to try and ask you guys to go look into it. So it is what it is. But I do think this indicator is going to be big. I think it's going to help me, and I think it's going to help you. So I'll keep you posted on that. But I am going to be doing like a daily TA segment, a crypto review, and then maybe a couple news articles. And that is going to be my content each and every day moving forward once I come back from my official break. So I hope you guys love the content. I hope you love what I'm doing here. Let me know in the comments what you think. I really, really want to know what you guys think below of all of these metrics. And the point system, the whole nine. Do you think this is going to be, do you think this is fair? Do you think this is going to work? Is it going to help you? Until next time, guys, grow your coins, like, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. And I'll see you again very, very soon.